Have you ever been in a situation where you knew you had to react quickly, but you weren't exactly sure what to do? Maybe a small fire broke out, and you knew you had to act fast, keep it from getting further than it already has or becoming a bigger problem. I've always had an interest in studying and visiting Greece, not only for its architectural history, but their way of life. It always seemed so different from here in the United States. So when I realized that Greece was in economic, financial trouble as we were, it spurred my interest to look into the situation further. It made me question that maybe there was some similarities between the two countries that led us into financial crisis. In my economics class, you're always taught when you need to act quickly and attack the problem at hand. Keep it from becoming a bigger issue. An article was written in November 2009 in Intereconomics Journal where R.C. Anathusi stated, "Under the current conditions of global financial market turmoil and economic downturns, one of the primary concerns of economic policymakers worldwide is the containment of the impact of the crisis on growth and employment and the facilitation to recovery." Basically, keep your impact to a minimum and keep it from spreading to other countries and other economies. It's important to understand the economies that are going on in other countries because the recession, as in Greece, that's going on could affect the progress that the U.S. has made in the last couple of years in our own recession. One of our major goals was and continues to be to move forward, not to move backwards. To understand how the economic recession started in Greece and the weight and actions that are being taken to the road to recovery, we can explore the causes of how it started and the effects it has had on Greece in itself and surrounding countries, and how to make a road to Greece to recovery. Now, not all decisions are good decisions, and all countries, and that's why you see economic recessions occur all worldwide. In Greece's case, this is what caused theirs. One of their main causes was a budget deficit. A budget deficit is when a country is spending more money than they're bringing in. In the last recent years, Greece has had very low taxes, so a lot of money was being spent when not enough was coming in. This caused for them not to be able to repay their debts, and the interest on those debts increased, and they couldn't pay those off either. Another effect was a global effect that occurred here in the United States. The Lehman Brothers bank was a bank in the United States that was billions of dollars of debt to banks and other companies. When the bank went bankrupt in 2008, it spurred the economic downturn in the United States and other countries as well, including Greece. Now, when Greece was dealing with the struggle of the economic downturn, their newly elected prime minister made an announcement that in 2009, the budget deficit that was previously mentioned was actually twice the size previously reported. Problems again happened when interest on those rates increased, and they couldn't pay that off either. There was talk that they weren't going to be paying any of it at all. Now, if Greece weren't going to be paying their debts, other companies and other countries were going to lose out on money as well, creating economic global damage. Now, as a result, countries reacted for self-benefits and for the benefits of Greece as well. One of the effects were holding backs on loans and investing their money into Greece. Desmond Lachman, a former deputy director at the International Monetary Fund, explains the Greek government is just borrowing money to repay interest on their debt. And then people realized how bad Greece's finances were. Then people didn't want to lend money to Greece, and so Greece couldn't pay its debts, and that's how the crisis started. They realized how bad Greece's financial crisis was, so what led them to believe that if they put money into Greece, they would ever get that money back? Now, as we all saw in our latest recession, a major effect of an economic crisis is unemployment. On August 12, 2013, David Jolly wrote an article in the New York Times titled "Contraction Shows Signs of Slowing for Greece," reporting that the jobless rate reached a new peak of 27.6% in May, according to the statistical agency, with youth unemployment around 65%. If you recall how bad the United States unemployment was in 2010 during our recession, we were at a 9.5 unemployment rate. And at that same time, Greece was in a 12.6% unemployment rate. Where we've shown progression, Greece has not been so fortunate. Not all decisions when it comes to a recession are decisions made on paper. And when people get upset, they decide to take matters into their own hands. So when Greece government agreed to a plan of $140 billion in exchange for an austerity program, people got very, very mad and upset about this exchange. The austerity program called for cut of wages and cut of benefits, basically stopped lending out money. And this was very disapproved, and protests started to break out. Now, all these reactions I mentioned were for self-benefit and to fix themselves before things got worse. However, other reactions were to help Greece in their time of need. Many bailouts were administered to Greece during this time and to lead them to recovery. The first being from the European Union, which they rescued Greece with $100 trillion to get them started. Other help came from international bodies. For more than 240 billion euros, which is equivalent to $319 billion, was given to Greece since 2010, and more still continues to go there. Over the next few years, plans for more bailouts are being planned out and made, all in hopes to lead Greece to recovery. Now, we can all see that the causes of Greece's recession came from things that occurred inside Greece itself and outside, and the effects involved everybody in Greece and surrounding countries as well. Now we're back to the fire that breaks out, and your main goal is to keep it from spreading, keep it under control. It will be interesting to see what the future actions that are being taken to stop Greece's economic fire and to keep that from spreading further than it already has.